Eduardo Cardoso will be presenting the national policies and structures of Portugal. Eduardo Cardoso is a senior researcher and a professor at the Catholic University of Portugal. He has a PhD in innovation and is currently Knowledge and Technology Transfer Officer at the university. Dr. Cardoso is the Executive Director of the European BioProducts Interface Institute. The platform is yours, Eduardo. Please start. And
yes,
have full screen, please. It would be better.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to all. I'm just expecting, yes. So full screen. I will go through my presentation, trying to skip what has been already referred by colleagues before, so do not try to do not repeat things that were already mentioned. So in Portugal, we follow this national accreditation, this European accreditation framework, so that you have already been referred before. So, and in what concerns this national qualification framework, is relevant to organize what are the different education offers. So we follow what are the qualification levels proposed by at the European level. So in higher education, we have those three. So the level of doctorate, level 8, that is the third cycle. Level 7, that is the master's degree. And level 6, that is the bachelor's degree. So it is essentially this. Maybe at level 5, we can have some entry-level qualifications for higher education, but essentially is level 6, 7, and 8. So in what concerns a PhD degree, for us, and according also to what is the European system, we a PhD has between 180 SETSs and 240 SETSs. So this is the range where we can organize in terms of effort that a particular PhD student has to show and to dedicate to a PhD program. So also important, as previously mentioned, the work should be an original thesis subject to public defense. So original thesis means that some research work has to be done, has to be published, usually in international journals, international, so at least some papers has to be international reviewed, and that gives some quality or some assessment of the quality involved in a PhD. Some PhD programs can have curricular units, and so when we submit when a PhD program is designed, we can design it including some curricular units and some years of research work. Okay, so the duration is in general between 3-4 academic years, always in this framework of ECTSs, and there's the possibility of exceeding those 3-4 years, exceeding until 2 years. So we could have a maximum of 6 years to a full-time PhD in terms of duration. And we also have the possibility of having part-time PhDs that could be a bit longer. What comes? I'm following the structure that was aligned before. So what follows a PhD? Well, after a PhD program succeeded, we can have some postdoctoral positions that could give to early doctorates, could have the opportunity to reinforce their abilities and their capacities, having additional period of research work, and so we call them postdoctoral research. And yes, we have each year we have different attributions of those positions and the budget associated with these positions. This is managed by FCT. So we have indirect, so an organization that is owned by the state, but has some degree of autonomy. That is that Foundation for Science and Technology that manages everything that is the funding of research in Portugal. So also the funding of PhD programs, PhD individual programs, and they also found research contracts and also research projects at the national level. So when we speak also still on what comes after a PhD, so if we are working in an academic or in a research career, we can look for an aggregation level that are public, are again some examinations, some public examinations, where a researcher with some good years of work as a researcher and some productivity and some outcomes have to show that and present, and this is what we call aggregation. So in some way we can understand this as a next level if we are in academic or research careers. We did implement this Bologna process. We did implement it in Portugal in this 2006. Even if the Bologna process is probably related more with 1999. In the country, we have the Ministry of Education, and we have in this government. So this can change a bit. So in this moment, we have the Ministry of the Education and the Ministry of the Science and Technology. So and higher education. So in this moment, higher education reports essentially to the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Higher Education. So this ministry, even if some was came from the Ministry of Education from previous governments. But I think this is not so important in the moment. So, and these changes may be important here in terms of the structure is the Foundation for Science and Technology I mentioned before. That is very much close to what is the founding of research, and in that way the founding of individual PhD programs or PhD plans that each student can apply to and try to get funds for having a salary and for paying fees and to follow a 4-year program for towards PhD level. So this is this foundation. So particularly important in the structure and in the policy for doctoral education in Portugal is this, as we already have seen this in the Italian system and so on, is an agency that is the agency that is in charge of the accreditation of all the education offers that an higher education institution can offer. So if we want to organize a PhD program, we have to submit some documentation to this agency, and we have to have the agreement of the agency to start offering in the market, start offering in the country a certain PhD program. Okay, I can show you a bit what the type of information is required by this agency when we want to submit a PhD program. Actually, when we want to submit a PhD program, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, whatever level of education offer we want to deliver, we have to have a previous accreditation by these agencies, and then there's a follow-up program that these agency puts on the working on. So following the work that each higher education institution is delivering. So saying this, it's maybe clear that we work in a very much university autonomy. So if a university wants to offer a PhD program, so is the university that should take the initiative to submit the process of accreditation to the agency. It should have the conditions to submit that process to the agency. Should take care of all the legal framework that has to follow. If it gets the accreditation from the agency, you will be each university is free to operate and organize the PhD program that is accredited by that agency. So this is what I was mentioned. Maybe we can discuss what is general strategies, but I believe that this already have been mentioned before and are quite common to European concepts. Concerning this external agency, I think I already mentioned enough the role of the agency. Of course, the agency is also part of the European quality assurance system, the ENCA. And maybe this is important. Each university that operates, or each higher education institution that is operating, has to develop an internal quality assurance system that put in place mechanisms to make sure that the objectives, the goals, the quality, the expectations are met by the university. And so when there are external audits by the agency, having such quality assurance office, we are more ready to answer to any audit. Okay, so this is, and we have at our university an internal quality system, and all the universities in general should have. Then I can mention, of course, is a bit expected, but so the requirements to offer a PhD, so they should include things like this one, so that the university should have human and organizational resources necessary to carry on research in the particular scientific area that is being proposed. So the universities should have enough teaching staff to support the PhD work. And each university should have accumulate research experience and in that field that is enough to be considered relevant and be a key element of the accreditation. So to have a PhD program accredited by the agency, you have to show that you have capacities to develop research work at a certain level, at a certain quality level. Okay, so those are three pillars. So staff, organization, and human resources, and accumulated research experience in the subject. Three issues that have to be strong enough to apply and to be accredited to offer a PhD in the market. Maybe, yes, this is a bit detailing what I was mentioned. Yeah, I can even show you, maybe I can show you in a minute what is this, what is the folder that we have to, the folder that we have to, the folder that we have to show to the agency to have a PhD accredited is something like that. So I will not go in detail, but take a look. We have to say what we are, what is the university, what are the premises, things like what is the course. Let me pick the pointer, highlighter. So sorry. So we have to characterize the study program and the university, look things like the maximum number of admissions. So we have to say how many PhD students we want to admit each year, and the agency have to agree. So according to the structure that you are showing that you have to ask for a certain number of admissions per year, then you have to show that the PhD program or the PhD plan was already assessed by the internal bodies in the university, like a scientific council or like a doctoral school that eventually exists and have to previously agree to that. So we have you have to say to the agency that the PhD internally is approved by the bodies that are supposed to internally approve higher education programs. Then you have to show how the PhD is relevant and is coherent with the strategy of your institution and the cultural project, the scientific and cultural project of the university. So you cannot offer a PhD that has no good connections to what is the strategy of the university, things like that. So you have to declare and to have to expose what are the teaching and learning methodologies that will be enhanced, that will be adopted and that will be worked out on the program. You have to list and show the CVs and the research work and so on of the teaching staff that is involved in a particular PhD. That has to be relevant to, of course, to the different areas that are included. So you also have to list and present the non-academic staff that will support a PhD program, and not least, you have to show what are your resources, your equipment, your facilities, your infrastructures to allocate, that will be allocated to a PhD program, so they could assess if it's adequate, reasonable, and so on. So you have also to show, of course, that you have research in the area of the PhD program. You have to say things that show some compatibility of what you are offering or what you are pretending to offer. So to have some balance at national level, you have to say that you are offering a PhD program that is enough different from what exists in the market, or in your region doesn't exist that offer, or is something that is really relevant for the regional strategy or the national strategy, or from some sectorial area. So you have to show that you well understand what is the national offer and where your offer will be placed. Also, in European terms, you have to make reference to what are the benchmarks that you are looking to in terms of European level. So we are offering a PhD in biotechnology, and we have to show what are the benchmarks in Europe that you try to compare yourself, and you try to make some benchmark exercises. There's even a kind of analysis, a kind of SWOT analysis that we have to do, showing what is our opinion of what we are offering. So this is material that you can guidelines that are available, and that you can they are even available in English. You can easily consult. We will list them. So returning to where we were here in this work with the agency. So and then an always relevant issue, that is funding for PhD programs. So it could have some variations along the time, but in this moment, students or candidates can apply to grants to pay a monthly grant, a monthly salary or monthly grant, and tuition fees for a 4 years program to enter in a PhD program. And year by year, in this moment, it is open. Let's say a call for applications. Students submit their applications, and in this moment they are expecting results of that application. One of our colleagues that will be tomorrow in the panel actually is external evaluator of grants for individual candidates in a particular area, and so they are probably in the work that is a work with a larger panel, trying to evaluate and list and prioritize what are the best candidates and those that will get money for that, and those that will not be quality enough, or that the money is not enough for all, something like that. So the funding could be individually for each candidate. Sometimes there are funding for the programs for institutions. Is not in this moment. Is not. We don't have this working. So we just have this individual funding going on. But of course, if we receive for our PhD, if we receive students that have grants, we also have to have money for the research. So the research itself has to be financed by other ways. So it's not enough for institutional point of view. It's not enough to have the students with the grants. It's good, it's very good, but it's not enough, because then when we have the students in the laboratories and so on, we have to have money to finance their work. And this is research funds that we have to fight in different ways. So you probably are not too interested on this, but the individual funding, look, it has 40% is relating to the applicant. Another 40% of the merit is related to the work plan, and there's 20% that is related to the host institution that the candidate wants to integrate to do its PhD. So each application will be classified a bit according to those percentages. So there's some detail on these percentages, but maybe not necessary to go in detail. So the range of the fees could vary a bit. In our university is 5,000 euros per year. It could be less, it could be more, depending on institutions, depending on the kind of courses, depending on the different policies. So, but the policy of each university. So each university has the freedom to put the price they want on the fees in some way. Then there's some opportunities from getting funds from the state, from that FCT that I mentioned before. So that foundation that supports science and technology, that could be applied to get some additional funds to staff, to investments in research facilities and so on. So this is some numbers about how many PhD students we have in different areas. Maybe it could be of interest for some of you. Then also the distribution for postdoctorate grants. And then there's the issue concerning private financing. So most of the research is going on research centers or higher education institutions. Even if in some statistics we can look a bit different for what are the employment of researchers in the country, but really everything that is PhD training is going on higher education institutions with the support of research centers. So there's some efforts in linking to the industry. So the state has some guidelines for areas that should be focused as priorities. We also have industrial priorities at regional level. So we are in the north region of the country, and the north region has their own strategic regional priorities, and so we follow either national and regional priorities, and so in this way there's an effort to try to make some convergence between what are the efforts in terms of research and development and efforts in terms of development, industrial development, and economy development in general. Then in what concerns, and to conclude, what concerns the relation to companies, there was some experiences in industrial PhDs. There are some, of course, people from companies can follow a PhD in a part-time approach, or the conditions they have. But there are some things that could be seen, and there are approaches that are really initiatives from each university. So maybe I should give you one or two examples of initiatives from the university to try to get closer to industry. Let me tell you just here one or two examples. So one example is, by instance, a program that we have with a company. Is just an example, but I believe it's of some interest. There's this company here in the north of Portugal. It's called Fulact. It sells ingredients essentially to the food sector. So actually ingredients for yogurts, for drinks, flavors, plant ingredients. So it's a medium company, but it's a pretty company in what concerns innovation. They are very much focused on innovation because they need to cope with expectations from big groups like Danone or Nestle or so on. So they are quite active in terms of investment in innovation, and they have a program with us, with my university, the University in Porto, where they define what are the areas of their interest in terms of product, in terms of transformation, in terms of business and people. So they have some priorities for them, and and they try to they identify priorities. They offer business mentoring. They assess the results of the work of the PhD students that apply to this full act academy. So they gave that name. And they offer as prizes, they offer money to each student to publish, to go for a kind of to present a paper in a conference, to do some kind of additional work. So prizes that should be spent during the PhD work, the PhD experience. Okay, so this is a collaboration just between FROLAC and our university. So it's a one-to-one collaboration. So, but it's an example. It's a way, it's an approach to industry where we try to get some resources from industry, and we try to align some of our results, some of our PhD results to industry, and probably we are also contributing to employability of higher competent staff. So it's of interest for the two sides, we believe. Another example, exactly to end, is also an initiative that is initiative also from the university. So different universities try to have different initiatives. We have an initiative that we did already organized for 2 years. That is a kind of a program, pre-acceleration program. So a program where PhD students can enroll. Actually, the ultimate goal is to expose results of their research work to the market, and to have an idea to help the PhD students to have a business idea about the value of the outcomes they are reaching in their work. So so we get money from the regional so there are some regional bodies that funds different activities that could help the competitiveness of the region. So we apply and we get some funds for a program that we call the Lab to Business, this name here, Lab to Business. So and we open this to PhD students. Actually, we open this program not only to the PhDs from our PhD program. So we did receive applications from other universities, and we did accept 1, 2, 3 groups from different universities. And what we do is we have something like a screening of technologies done by external association for innovation. So we have a contest and the call for applications. We have that acceleration program that is a bit these ideas for business projects. So each PhD student should end up with a business plan, if you want, or with a business case. But we can look for a business plan as a reference. So they end up with a business plan, and they end up with a kind of prototype. And the prototype and the business plan are evaluated by a jury, and they can get some prize money. So it's a way to incentivize, to put some incentives in the students, in the PhD students, to approach the market, to face the needs of the companies. The program as where it is, as different workshops that really are training sessions. And there's an important part that is this business mentoring. So we did develop a pool of mentors, and business mentors help students to focus on what are the requirements from a business plan. We also have some personal coaching to keep people focused on work. And there's the prizes, there's the jury. The jury includes some companies, and is that. So we have some showcases of the business plans and of the prototypes. We have networking sessions with companies and open to the market. We have some intensive sessions, things like boot camps or whatever name we want to call it. So intensive sessions to develop the business plan. So different workshops across the time. This is a 3-month period, and in the end, we offer to those students. We offer 5 credits for the PhD program. So they have some courses that are optional, and this program was considered as an optional program for the students, and they can get, if they succeed to finish this program, they can get the 5 credits of an optional course. Okay, so some numbers, but I think I already mentioned. So we have almost 20 applications. We offer the 5-year CTSs. We have 17 mentors, business mentors. We got also some budget to invest in intellectual property. So in the first steps of demanding for a patent. So we try to keep on with contacts with industry, looking forward to further steps. So I think there's other opportunities similar to this one, but this one is from our initiative, and we are quite happy with the results that we did get from this program. And from my side, I think is everything. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention. Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation, especially for the last part. One of the objectives of the project is to strengthen the cooperation with industry, and this is a topic we're really very much interested in. Thank you for sharing information. There are a number of questions. The first one is from Dr. Dargamadze. What are the requirements for admission to doctoral studies? The first question.
I'm sorry?
What are the requirements for admission to doctoral studies?
Okay. Yes, in this moment, there are 2 main requirements. Or either you have a master's degree and you can apply for a PhD, or even you have a bachelor's degree and you have enough curricula that could be assessed by the university as enough to demonstrate ability follow a PhD program. Okay.
Okay. And the second question, can doctoral studies be in art be presented? Are the doctoral programs in science and art governed by different laws? Are doctoral programs in science and art governed by different laws?
There's some specificities, of course, but yes, there are PhDs in arts. The overall processes are similar. Actually, in our university, we have a PhD in digital arts. I believe we still have it. The process is similar. Even there are some differences on the law or on parts of the law that just apply to arts. Exactly.
Okay. The next question and actually request is to outline the national policy of open science mentioned in the slideshow. Tigran Mikhailian is asking to outline the policy of an open science, if possible.
Open science?
Perhaps elaborate more on the policy of open science that you mentioned in your presentation.
Yeah, I think is more on the policy goals defined by this government. But yes, we have been pushed to different in different areas to be more open. So there's the possibility in the research projects. There's now the possibility of funding open access papers, something that before was not allowed. But even so, open access papers are quite expensive. So these people are not so happy with spending so much money for open access publications. But well, is one aspect. There's some other initiatives that is actually it's a strong initiative from this government that is the development of what they call collaborative research centers. So what they ask or they open up calls for different research centers to cooperate in particular subjects. So there's now in the country several collaborative research centers where different researchers and different research centers cooperate for a particular subject. And those centers are funded by that FCT foundation, so that's Foundation for Science and Technology. So it could be seen as a relevant tool to open knowledge between centers and then to put them more accessible to society. But I have to tell you that this is more policy going on. So even the outcomes of those collaborative research centers are not yet fully assessed. This recent initiative, and there's some mixed feelings about how it goes, because in some way we are repeating research centers by the regions, by the country. That we are not so sure if it will well cope with those objectives of open science. So this is a policy. There's a document for this. I can share the document concerning the research policy from this government. Is in English. If yes, it's in English, so I can share it. But is more a policy statement than a reality that I can report in detail. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Eduardo, for the great presentation. Are there any other questions from the audience? I guess no. If there are no questions, I should inform that all the presentations, yesterday's and today's presentations, will be uploaded on the project official website. There is a section called Outcomes. Actually, yesterday's presentations are already uploaded, and I do hope that the presenters will very soon send today's presentation so we may upload and share with the audience. But I also informed that all the experts, all the partners of these 4 countries have also elaborated detailed training packages and detailed analysis of the policy and structures of doctoral education in their countries. And this analysis is also available on the project website. So under the outcomes, you may find these comprehensive reports also. Thank you once again for the presentations. Thank you for the comments. And here I see Dr. Targamadze sharing links that might be interesting for us, for Armenia. Thank you. And see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have a panel discussion with the representatives of 4 countries. The panel discussion will again be open for the public, and we will widely share the link with you are free to share the link with your institutional members and experts. So see you tomorrow during the panel discussion, which will chair Tatevik Gharibian from the Ministry of Education, Science, Culture and Sports. See you tomorrow.
See you. Thank you very much.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.